Rob Williams taking up martial arts changed his life forever.
Looking back, I was just an incredibly terrified kid.
But where do you stand on the combat sports debate? Combat sports promote or control violent tendencies.
If you go into a violent sport, it actually increases aggression and hostility in the person.
By learning this, it's helped me to be strong in the mind.
This is The Project.
We've all heard that violence begets violence, but can combat sports actually offer a path to redemption? We meet one guy who has managed just that.
That's the mentality that I grew up with, you know, which is fists tall.
From an early age, Rob Williams was shaped by his violent surroundings. His father was a former soldier and an abusive alcoholic.
I had behind my headboard a whole row of knives, yeah, and on the back of my door I had a dartboard. So I had like a whole lot of different knives because I never knew what sort of knife I might end up with. So I practiced throwing knives. Looking back, I was just an incredibly terrified kid, you know, who was just preparing for like a war against my dad.
When he was 11, a father-son hunting trip went wrong, with terrifying results.
When we were hunting, I shot a bit out of his ear, and I just went, oh my God, he's going to kill me. And I remember running up this hill, like zigzagging like he'd taught me. So just thinking my dad was going to shoot me in the back at some stage, I didn't sleep in the house that night.
Desperate to defend himself, Rob took up martial arts.
When I started jiu-jitsu, it was just like another arrow in my quiver that I could use to hurt people.
What Rob didn't expect was just how much that training would change him.
Once I started training with the Gracie family and really understanding what jiu-jitsu was about, one of the main concepts is control.
Champion boxer Danny Green campaigns against street violence, but he believes that discipline in the combat arena can equate to discipline in life.
Boxing, fighting, martial arts, MMA, I've seen so many people come through the ranks. They could have gone the other way, and fighting has given them such a positive influence. I don't think many people in the society will really realise that.
But not everyone agrees that violent sports help those with violent tendencies.
Why must we have sports that involve combat and bloodshed and violence of any description? As a parent, I think it's appalling.
If you go into a violent sport, it actually increases aggression and hostility in the person.
Grant Deverley believes that as well as being physically dangerous,
you can almost see the brain injuries as they're occurring in real time.
Combat sports can actually worsen antisocial behaviour. But Danny Green is convinced that boxing changes lives for the better. He is a big believer in the code of honour that surrounds combat sports.
I've seen it so many times. Big, tough, brave-looking guys who have the heart the size of a tic-tac are humbled by guys who didn't even look like they could fight at all. It breeds respect, and they're taught to respect people of all walks of life.
Those behind combat sports say they just take negative human traits and turn them into something more positive.
Human beings are always going to fight. We are just an adaptation of an animal.
But for Rob, his proof is in the hard-won experience. He now runs several jiu-jitsu academies, teaching his pupils how to control their aggression and master themselves.
Before I start doing this jiu-jitsu stuff, if somebody upset me, you know, the first thing you do is just punch them in the face, you know. By learning this, it's helped me to be strong in the mind and body too, you know.
It's hilarious at lunchtime, yeah? All these like 35, 45-year-old guys, they're just like children. It's like a therapy session.
Complicated issue, that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of boxing, but both my kids, my 6-year-old son and my 8-year-old daughter, both do karate. And I first got my son into it because little boys have a lot of testosterone, just naturally, and he was into his wanting guns and fighting and kicking, and I felt that it was a disciplined way for him to channel that natural, you know, energy that little boys have and some little girls. And they both love it. I mean, it's very disciplined. It's not just like go and throw punches and kicks around.
My boys do it, and I completely agree with you. I think
Isn't a lot of it about teaching them in the hope that they never have to use it, really?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and they're told, they're absolutely told, you should not be using this in the playground. You know, use it if you absolutely have to. It's self-defence, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's so disciplined. I mean, they do push-ups and they do, you know, you have to listen to the teacher and there's a huge amount of respect engendered.
And they get to wear their pyjamas. That's pretty awesome.
I might do it.
Yeah.